Good afternoon. I do believe it is. Well, good morning, good afternoon. It's close to the afternoon. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday morning. Just want to talk about something I don't think that a lot of people feel comfortable talking about and admitting. But you know me, I like to talk about the hard things. And I want to talk about when you struggle with jealousy and envy. Now, I know that a lot of people don't like to admit when they do struggle with that, but especially in our community, in the African American community, um, we definitely have some people. Some people call them haters. Um, I hate to use that term because it's so trendy, and I'm beyond trendy at this point in my life. I talk about things that are relevant, try to educate and inform. Um, and at the end of the day, you make the decision on if you're going to apply it or not, if you're going to listen, if you're going to take heed, or if you're going to ignore me, whatever. That's fine. At this point, I don't care. But if you are interested in holding ourselves accountable and being honest about where we are individually, we need to talk about jealousy and envy, in particular in the African American community, because it's very, very real. It's thriving. It is the spirit that drives a lot of our people to not work together. It is the spirit that divides us. It is a spirit um, that causes even some murders. Things that didn't have to happen end up ending violently because people are jealous and envious of one another. And it begins as a seed of jealousy that never has been dealt with. And it has to be dealt with. It is at the root. It is at the root of everything that's wrong with our community. Now, I know we're living in a day and a time. We don't want to talk about what's wrong. We don't want to talk about the negative. We want to always talk about, oh, what's right with you and what's wonderful with you. Let's talk about positive things and what do we do. No, we need to deal with the other side of it too. We need to deal with the negative. We need to deal with why is it that our people are okay murdering one another, okay? We're okay with sabotaging one another. Even in church, we're okay. We entertain spirits of envy and jealousy and competition, okay? Come on, let's be real about it now. It's behind every division within our culture that there is. It stems from a root of jealousy and envy. And we have to ask ourselves, why do we allow ourselves, you know, to feel that way? Why do we allow ourselves to be envious and jealous of one another? If we are truly a family and we are truly brothers and sisters, then it seems like we shouldn't be allowing yourself to feel that way. You should not entertain those types of thoughts. If somebody around you is doing something that's helping someone, that they are in a season where they're prospering and they're achieving and they're great gains are in their life, then you should be genuinely happy for them. You should applaud them. You should be like, hey, you deserve it. It's your time. Be happy and go on, do what you do. I'm happy for you. I'm genuinely happy for you. But we don't find this in our culture a lot. And we like to, and I know I just said it, spirit, we like to make it it's always a spirit of jealousy or envy. But at the root of it, it's not, we like to address it in terms of, well, if someone is feeling envious or jealous of you. I just heard a really famous preacher, and I'm going to take that video down because I even posted it on my feed, address the spirit, excuse me, the spirit of jealousy and the spirit of envy from outward beings. The whole thrust of his sermon was dealing with it after the flesh, and sharing your success with fellow ministry workers, and when you're a parent dealing with children, and making sure that siblings don't have jealousy and envy amongst one another, then you gotta make sure, parent, that you love them and show them and make it in this way and that way, so they don't grow up being, envious and jealous of one another and sibling rivalry come forth. Well, let me tell you something. I'm gonna share something with you. Jealousy and envy is not something that initiates from the outside, and it can't be addressed from outward circumstances. You can't get rid of jealousy and envy by trying to make people feel more inclusive, or you can't deal with jealousy and envy in a person by building up their self-esteem, um, by giving them fake applause and fake approval. And I think in the last 20 years, we've pushed this thing so much so, about building people's self esteem. Okay? Self esteem, not other esteems. Self esteem. We've done this by applauding people for doing things that they should do. We've done, kids are supposed to pick up their toys when they have toys all over the floor. No, you're not going to get a reward. You're not going to get a treat. I'm not going to hold a parade because you picked up your toys. You're supposed to pick up your toys. That is your responsibility. If you want toys to play with, if you're old enough to throw them and strew them all over the house, you are old enough to pick them up and put them back in the toy box when you're done. If you don't pick up the toys and put them back in where it goes when you're done and over with it, then I'm taking the toys from you. I'm throwing the toys away, and you don't get no more toys. But no, that's gonna tear down the child's self-esteem. So now, when little Ray Ray picks up their toys and puts them where they're supposed to go, we're supposed to applaud them. Yay, Ray Ray! You picked up the toy and put it in the box. But you're supposed to. Now maybe when they're like 2, and you're trying to teach them, order, and you're trying to teach them how to do these things, then maybe I could understand it for a season, just as a teaching tool. But after a while, if Ray Ray is 10 and you're still holding a parade because Ray Ray is picking up his toys and putting it in the toy box to build little Ray Ray's self-esteem, no, it don't go like that. Oh, who made you the parental authority, Winona? And yada yada yada. And are your kids perfect? And yada yada. No, they're not perfect. But I do know that when we started all this foolishness of building people's self-esteem by throwing parades and giving them Nobel Peace Prizes for doing the things that they're supposed to do anyways, that's when all this foolishness began, where people started really being overtaken by jealousy and envy, so much so to the point, I believe envy and jealousy tries to creep up in every last one of our hearts, if we're honest. First and foremost, it involves a level of self-accountability, self examination, transparency, and honesty with ourselves. And say, hey, you know what? I do struggle with this from time to time. I do feel a little tinge of, well, why they got to do this and why they got this and I don't have it. But the key to fighting that don't have anything to do with what anybody else says to you or does for you, or if they applaud you because you do what you're supposed to do, but it has everything to do with you. Immediately, soon as that thought hits your mind, it hits your spirit, immediately dismiss it and say, devil, you a lie. That's my sister, that's my brother. And I don't know what they went through to get to that point that they got to in life, in this season. I don't know what they did to get this, but I'm sure that because you are in control of all things, that it is well, it is their time, it's their season. And even though I may not have seen all the stuff they've gone through to get to where they got, to get the achievement, to get the applause, huh? It ain't up to me. It is not up to me to know and determine when their time is supposed to be. That's foolish and stupid. So no, I'm not gonna sit there and even entertain that. I'm happy for them. I applaud them. And I celebrate it. And I mean it from the bottom of my toe. But I don't think a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people sit there and they allow the the spirit of jealousy and envy to fester in their souls and in their spirits, to the so much so to the point where they, even as somebody who they love, okay, it's somebody, if it's somebody who they love, okay, and they know that they've been with them all their life, and they've seen them struggle, and they've seen them go through this, and seen them go through heartbreak and go through devastation and having to start over. And so even those people can look at somebody who is going through a season of prosperity and blessedness in their lives, but they still allow themselves to get absorbed in this spirit of jealousy and envy. It you can't cast out a spirit of jealousy. It's not possible. The way that you inoculate yourself from even entertaining such foolishness is to immediately dismiss it and say, I'm not even entertaining that. I'm not even entertaining that thought. You don't have to take ownership of every thought that comes into your mind. Some of that stuff is implanted by the enemy. And especially if it's a spirit that come at you and make you think some kind of way, and you're jealous and envious of somebody because they have something you think that you should have, or they've accomplished something that you have yet to accomplish, so you feel in some kind of way. Well, maybe it's their time. Maybe they are ready for that. Maybe they have the skills and the talent and the anointing to accomplish that, and y'all just finally allow it to manifest in their lives. You ever thought about that? You may not have gotten it because it's not your anointing, it's not your gift, it's not your talent, it's not your skill. You are not gifted in that area. Just, and then another way to inoculate yourself, if you sitting there still kind of feeling some kind of way, another way to inoculate yourself and get rid of that right away is to think about it. If I had what they had, what I'm jealous for, what I'm fiending after, and what I think I deserve more than they deserve, if I had that thing in my possession right now, if I was able to do A, B, C, and D right now, realistically, look at it realistically, how would it fare? What would it be like in my life? Would I be able to accomplish that? Would I be able to handle that level of blessing? Would I be able to handle that man? Would I be able to handle fortune? Would I be able to handle fame? If I got the book deal, would I be happy with that contract? Come on now. If I had that job, would I be able to perform on that job? Huh? Come on. Think about it. I mean, and realistically assess yourself. And see, all of this, it requires a level of self-examination a lot of people aren't ready to undergo. They're not ready to put themselves through that. So, they just entertain this because somehow they are blinded into believing that whatever it is they don't have and they're jealous for and after, that it belongs to them. And it may not. But, hey, realistically look at yourself and say, would I be able to handle that if I had that? And a lot of times, if you realistically look at it, realistically, put yourself, excuse me, place yourself in their shoes and see if you really would be able to operate in that. Would you? Be honest. Come on. Be honest. If you be honest, you'd be like, girl, bye. If I had to do that, I will flop. I will fail miserably because that's not for me. Once you realize what Yah has for you is for you, and what Yah don't want you involved in, He is going to take you away from. He is going to inoculate you from it. He's going to make sure you're not a part of it or you're not a partaker of it. You learn to accept that thing. You learn to be at peace with whatever it is that Yah has for you. Be comfortable in that. And then you can celebrate others. Then you can be happy for genuinely happy for other people instead of entertaining and allowing jealousy and envy to fester and grow and rot in your heart. And then it colors everything that you do, everything that you say. And it's the root. It is the root. I promise you. Our people, I don't know what it is. Maybe we haven't been before Yah enough to find out what it is that Yah has for each and every last one of us as African Americans in this country. But we some hating folks. I hate to use the hater term. I hate it. I hate to use the hater term, pun intended. But oh my God, it's real. And so any type of criticism, because some criticism is destructive, but some criticism is constructive. And constructive meaning it helps to build a foundation. You got to realize too that all criticism is not destructive. There are some criticism that's constructive. Everybody that's saying this or saying that about you ain't hating on you. They're actually saying it out of truth. Yah is trying to use them to parlay a message to you, to give you some constructive criticism. Because he's been trying to tell you for years, but you've been missing it because you thinking that, oh, folks just hating on me. They hating on me. They hating on me. So they won't tell. They just saying this and saying that. Everything that people come to you with is not going to be, oh, you're so wonderful. Oh, you're so nice. Oh, you're so talented. Oh, you are so gifted. Oh, yeah, you picked up the toys and put them in the toy box. No, it's not going to always be like that. Okay? You're supposed to pick up the toys after a certain age, and you're supposed to put them in the toy box. You're supposed to make up your bed, and come on now. When I was a child, I spake as a child, and I did childish things. But as a man, as a woman, you put away childish things, and you grow the heck up. Hey, look, we can help. Each and every last one of us can totally vaccinate our souls and spirits from jealousy and envy if we are honest with ourselves and we examine ourselves and we place ourselves on the wheel and say, yeah, what's up? Tell me about myself. And I promise you, once you get that, once you do that, and you let y'all tell you, and you're not in control of how y'all speak to you. You know that, right? I want to hear God in a dream. I want to hear God through a prophecy. I want to hear God through music. Y'all gonna speak to you just the way He need to speak to you, the way that you are going to hear Him. And it just may be that He may have been speaking to you, but you ain't been listening. So then y'all gotta talk a little louder. So, all I'm saying is let's just be honest with ourselves. Let's examine ourselves. Let's be real with ourselves. Let's stop hiding behind all the stuff that we hide behind. And let's be real. If we deal with the jealousy and the envy that is so prevalent in amongst ourselves and get healed of that thing, learn to accept constructive criticism for one another, and apply what y'all is telling us to apply to our lives, we will get rid of jealousy and envy as a culture. And I promise you, all this black on black crime, all this domestic violence amongst us in our relationships, all this sabotage in and out of church, that stuff won't stop. We gotta deal with the root of why we jealous and envious of one another. Why are we so competitive against one another? We gotta deal with that thing. We gotta deal with that thing for real, for real. You just admit it. You jealous. You're envious. You want what they got. But you're not ready for what they got. You haven't walked their shoes. You haven't walked in their shoes. You don't know what they've been through. Leave people be. If God is choosing to give them this and bless them with this, and if they're anointed to do this and they're talented and gifted to do that, then you need to say, okay, yeah. You do all things well, and I thank God for their gift. and leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Now, if you see something else, y'all tell you to say something, I suggest you do that too. You say that thing too. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of here because it's almost 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes. This is the longest video I've ever done, but I had a lot to say about this subject. I hope somebody here heard me. Y'all be blessed and enjoy your weekend. Be safe.